such an asshole.
All right, now I got a question that I do not have any. I have dated foreign girls, but not a lot, and certainly not overseas. Cappy couldn't afford to travel overseas until relatively recently. So I'm going to have to defer to experts such as Troy Francis, Sterling Cooper. Me, I'm only going based off of my handful of experience dating foreign women here in the United States, what I've seen through my clients, what I got reports in the fields and things like that. So let's go through the question. Hey, asshole, please shake your wisdom into my ear holes. I recently left an engagement after the girl, whom I thought was a unicorn because she completely changed after getting the ring. I uncovered lies and attempt at cheating, so I left. There you go. I'm fed up with American girls. I would love to be a classic 1950s father and a role model to kids, but I can't justify the opportunity cost to do better if I chase these devilish harpies instead of working towards my CPA. I have seen you advocate for Latin America and Asian. Well, it's not Latin, it's not those areas in specific. When I advocate it, it is, again, usually someone here who is from that country or that culture, either originally or is a first generation American whose parents are immigrants from there. They can't find American women, or I don't mean like born as I said, but they can't find marriage worthy American women or marriage worthy women in America. I would say we'll go back to your home country, and that could be Europe or Africa, or it doesn't, not necessarily Latin America and Asia, though disproportionately we do have a fair amount of people from that area of the globe. So I'm not saying Asian women and Latin women are better. I'm saying if you're from that culture, it's home field advantage is what it is. You got home field advantage. And my research also indicates that in several of these countries, the women are more appreciative and family oriented. That is true pretty much regardless. Outside of the Western world, women are more traditional. That is a generally true statement. But I guarantee you could find a weapons grade bitch in wherever, Kuala Lumpur, then you would, and you could find a nice girl in California. It's not statistically likely, but it's possible. Yes, generally what you're saying is true. They are not marriage oriented here. They are absolutely not traditional marriage oriented here, compared to other places. I can afford to travel, but my worry is, how do I court someone that far away and build trust? Essentially, how do I vet a broad abroad? Thanks for turning me onto accounting. Make sure you wipe Sam. Thanks, Sam. Well, let's kind of address some logistics. If you get your CPA and you get some clients, you will not have to worry, how do you court someone that far away and build trust? You would be there. Okay, so let's make it easier before you start going abroad. Let's get your CPA. Let's get your career together. Let's get it so that you can go overseas and not in a rash, hasty, quick manner where you got to fly back because you got a job. Why don't you hold off the global reconnaissance for women until you can work remote employed? All right, so you're going to have to maybe work a year, go to school for another year, get the credits to sit for the CPA, sit for the CPA year. So we're looking more like a 5-year plan, which might seem long, but it's going to be better that way. So in 5 years, you're planning on going overseas, working remotely. You grab your laptop, grab some socks and some undies, and off you go. All right. So let's focus on that first. You got to build your fighter plane first. Then after that, that solves the number one problem. Let me make sure. That solves the number one problem that I think most people in the West or anywhere, I want to go overseas to find an overseas woman because of cultural reasons or whatever. Okay, well, you got to be overseas. And you can't be visiting, you can't go to the tourist destinations. You gotta spend some time over there. And so what I'm going to recommend is your second step after you get financially situated here with a career that allows you to work remotely in the field is you're not going to go to one particular country and stay there for a year. You're going to have to spend at least a year doing global reconnaissance to find out where in the world you'd like to live. Because if you want to raise a family, I'm going to recommend you don't bring them back here to the United States. So again, like the US military, you bring the war to people, you're going to bring your love to the lucky, not local ladies abroad. Right? All right. So you got to figure out though where you want to live. And that's going to take at least a year of global reconnaissance. Start off in the Southeast Asia area, start with the countries everyone likes. Okay, check that out. Say hi to Matt Tran in Vietnam for me. Say hi to Seth over in Thailand for me. But wherever maybe you love Korea, although I wouldn't go. And okay, even before you do your global reconnaissance, go and research and find out where feminism has rendered traditional families obsolete, no longer an option. That would be South Korea. China, it's looking very bad. Japan, I've never understood Japan because I did date girls from Japan and they're very nice. But I don't know why. Maybe, that was 25 years ago. So Japan's different, but do your research up front and then, okay, I'm going to go to these places and check them out. You're going to go to those places and you're not going to look for the girlsa. You can figure out, do I like it here? All right. And once you got, say, like 3 or 4 candidate countries you're interested in, then based on weather, to stay where it's nice and warm, I would then spend half a year in each of those places to get to know the culture. And that's when you can start looking for these girls for a family. Now, at any point in time, you're going to run into a girl that may be the love of your life. You could land at the airport at Manila, and there's this gal, and she's this nice Filipino lady, and there's something about her. She speaks English. She's also an accountant. You get your nerd accountant thing on. You just immediately fall in love. Well, then, okay, your travels are cut short. You figured it out. Now you fly out to Curzon or wherever she is. All right. But, so keep an eye open for that. But you got to find out where you want to live for. And then once you feel, okay, I'm here for 6 months, start looking for wife material. So we've handled that. Now comes the handling of the wife material, the broad abroad, as you say. And what you're generally going to run into is that you're going to have a green card issue. Girls are going to want you because you got a green card. And you're going to have to get through that. Easiest way to get through that, saying, I'm not moving back to the United States. I want to raise a family here. I'm not marrying in the United States. I'm not going back to I'm not taking you to the United States. You're not going to trust me. I'm leaving the place. I don't want, because I honestly, if you want families that now you could derive your income from the United States, but man, I wouldn't raise family here. Now that you're going to homeschool, keep those kids out of the public schools, make sure they major in something right. And even then you'd ship them out to go find some love overseas anyway. So you're like, no, that will eliminate the green card thing. You will also have to accept the cultural likelihood that families expect their daughters to send back money if they marry overseas. And now this requires a little diplomacy and tact because it's their culture. All right. That's what they're used to. So what you do is you say, no, I'm not giving your family money. I'm an American. Culturally speaking, I don't pay your family to marry you. Matter of fact, your dad should be paying me a dowry if this is traditional. So you just say, no, that's it. Because not only have I seen that be a scam where I've seen now 3 guys, Americans, just forking money back over and their wives never can make it to the United States and they go over there, weird marriage ceremony and, oh, the family won't let me go. Baby, I need money for a cell phone. And you just find out the family's like screwing the guy over. It's a scam and a racket. But then there are like legitimate cases where it's like, no, traditionally, culturally, the girl would send money back home. And I'm saying no in either case. No, I'm not getting scammed. I don't give a damn about your culture. No, you're marrying me. I will support you. We're not sending money back home. And you be forthright with that. And you don't get married until you're absolutely sure. Now, of course, it'll depend on the culture you're in. In Eastern Europe, that's not as common. You're just paying the woman outright. That's what it is. They're going to nag the hell out of you and test you every day. Go watch Coach Red Pill's videos on Eastern versus Western women. But there is some understanding in foreign cultures or non-Western cultures in general, because the men were supposed to support the family and the father wanted to make sure like, hey, is my daughter being taken care of? So there is an emphasis on your money, but it isn't always money grubbing, gold digging whores. All right. That's not what that is. That's just kind of culture and expected if you're going to take care of raise a family. So you got to find the right type of gal who isn't just going to siphon your money and give it to mom and dad so they don't have to work in their little, thatch hut. You're going to have to look out for outright scams. And this is why you don't move back to the United States. You live in the country for a while. You don't go to the tourist spots and you date, you figure it out. You find a gal, you get to know the family. And the only advantage, I mean, you still got to do your due diligence and screen and vet, but at least there, the one advantage is these gals are generally wanting to get married and generally want to have kids. You got to make sure that though you're not just a money mule, aside beyond what would be expected to support a family. Then there's like outright scams, which I have a guy who's now on his fourth, maybe even fifth Central European, Ukrainian wife. Lord knows he probably got more. Those are scams. Those are just scam, guys. Don't do it. Again, go to Ukraine, or go to Croatia. Go to the country, meet the girls. Do not meet them over the internet. Do not fly them out. Go to the country. Bring the war to them. Away game. It's all away game. You're going to do away game. All right. And that's the best I've ever found. That's the most logical because there are so many, the word's out, by the way, gentlemen. You Americans have green cards and you're desperate for pussy. Okay. Because the faucet has been turned off here. Or if you do get some, it comes with an incredibly expensive legal contract if you marry it. So there's a lot of money making scams out there and varying gradations of but you got to go out there. You got to court, you got to vet, and you should try. And I think you being a CPA with your money derived from the first world and with second and third world expenses, yeah, go. And then you want to get to know the culture too. You're going to have to learn the language, which is inconvenient, but it's worth love. But that's where you're going to have to go where the women are more traditionally minded. But be aware of money-making operations and scam and cultural differences where it's like, no, we're not doing that. But in our culture, it's traditional. You just give me all your money. What was it? I think maybe that's Japan where the wives end up in control of the money and the men work. Like, no, it's not going to happen. But we're in Japan now. I am aware we're in Japan. I am American. And you can do what we can go to Kabuki theater, or we can eat the very good cuisine we have here. I'll watch all the Godzilla movies you want, but you are not in command of the money. No. Matter of fact, you have your own money, and then you can do whatever you want with your money. I'm very free and open-minded that way. So that's it. I'm sure there are some other men who've had way more experience dating overseas and dating foreign gals. And I don't mean mail order bride. I mean, actually going out and dating and courting. I would strongly recommend you read some of Rush's books. Avoid the Western books like Dead Bat in Paraguay is a good one. That one's all South America. So I would do that. I would do that and consult those guys, but I would not just go over there and think it's easy pickings, and do not bring them back here. Do not. All right, we got everything. Boom, done. All right. You might heard Australians moving 50% off. I bet they make you happy long time. All right, we see you guys later. Toodles.